Hello, Mike here. Well, I love walking in the countryside, as many of you know. If I walk 7 miles, it certainly take me more than 2 hours. In Luke chapter 24, we come across 2 disciples who were also walking 7 miles. They were walking home. And while they were walking, a third person joined them, someone they thought was a stranger, asking them what they were talking about, and they were all too happy to tell him. And it was clear they were down in the dumps that evening. They were distressed. We read that they stood still when the stranger joined them, their faces downcast. They were distressed. They were also disillusioned. They were 2 ordinary followers of Jesus, and they had thrown in the towel. They had left the other disciples behind in Jerusalem, and they'd gone off home. They were distressed, they were disillusioned, and they were also disbelieving. Jesus had been crucified. His crucifixion had crushed their faith, and therefore rumours of the resurrection left them unmoved. And so our 2 friends were transformed. And what they say is that their hearts were burning. Their hearts were burning as Jesus was speaking to them. It's interesting that Jesus doesn't show his wounds to them as he offered to Thomas. What he does instead is he helps them make sense of the prophecies in the Old Testament about himself. And these 2 disciples, as they listened, they testified that their eyes were opened. So their hearts were burning and their eyes were opened. And Jesus made as if he was going to carry on travelling when they got home, but they insisted that he stayed with them, and he came in, they invited him to eat with them. And then it happened. As even as I sit at this table today, something wonderful happened. Because, my friends, as the risen Lord broke bread with these 2 disciples, they recognized him. They suddenly realized who he was. And their spirits were totally revived. All their spiritual fervor returned. And get this, despite the fact they were tired, it was late, they walked back the 7 miles to Jerusalem, presumably in the dark. What a story. Well, in the Old Testament, we read the words of the psalmist in Psalm 40. I waited patiently for the Lord to help me. He turned to me. He heard my cry. He lifted me out of the pit of despair. He set my feet on solid ground. He has given me a new song to sing, a hymn of praise to our God. And really that's what happened to these 2 disciples that day. They started off so down in the dumps. By the end of the story, they were on cloud 9. And let me tell you, even as you listen today, God can lift you. He really can. He can lift you out of your distress, and he can revive your spirits. Thank you so much for listening.